have any way that you believe we have the political will to conserve? I mean, truly, we're not good at conserving. And many have argued that if we conserve, this economy will be a train wreck.
Well, and that's why I say everything has to be laid out on the table so we understand what we're talking about. We're talking about the trade barriers for South American ethanol into the U.S. We're talking about the 51-cent blender's tax credit. We're talking about the cost of war, and we're talking about the cost of protecting shipping channels, all those things. We have to lay them on the table. Nuclear is a part of that. Wind energy is a part of that. Liquid coal is a part of that. All of those things, and we can create them here. The political will, unfortunately, may not happen until the price is exorbitant enough that people's choice is not to drive and not to eat.
In '73, we learned and we had all these kinds of conversations. OPEC pumped up the supply. We started to have alternatives, and as soon as the alternatives got on the market, OPEC
dropped the
just
price.
nuked everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can that happen to you guys again?
Today, the difference between today and then is that I said like a year ago that OPEC's not going to increase their supply because they know they have a limited supply. The longer they wait, the more valuable it
Let's
has
do a
become.
round.
Bruce Rastetter from Hawkeye Renewables, what's your final comment?
Well, I think to Craig's point, the reality is the world's running out of oil. And the other reality is it's expensive and it comes from other places. We spent $80 billion for the U.S. military to keep the oil sea lanes open, and yet we worry about the 50-cent blender's credit that is $4 billion when we're actually reducing the cost of gasoline in the U.S. by 15%, and also then reducing food prices if we believe 80% of food price increase is energy. So I think long-term we just can't turn back. We have to continue to support this industry and move forward.
Bill Cowser.
You know, 9/11, I have two sons, 21 and 23. I laid awake night 4 years ago wondering if they would go. If they were asked, if the commander-in-chief asked them to go, they would go. What a great thing to start with the ethanol industry, renewable fuels. When do we make the change? Bruce said it right. We're running out of oil. We don't know when. Is it 50, 100? Is it 200 years? We have to start someplace. How do we start protecting these kids? Is this the tip of the iceberg? I hope so.
Eldred Myers, petroleum marketer.
Well, it's great when we talk about compassionate issues, and we need to do more of that. But as I observe this, from the side, on the petroleum side, it seems like an economic distribution problem. You've got rich people that have, and you've got poor that have not. And it seems like more can be done to address that side of it rather than saying that there's not enough food to go around when in reality that there is. This whole issue has been very difficult. From the petroleum retailer side, I cannot speak for large oil. I'm here representing our local retailers, and this high price of product raises their risk and their costs, and right now they're challenged just like our meat producers are.
I hope you'll put in some more E85 pumps this year, too. Craig Lang, dairy farmer of Brooklyn and president of Iowa Farm Bureau.
From a policy perspective, our organization, our farmers are looking for solutions to answer the critical component that's thrown at them every day. And we know that we have to settle this issue on a comprehensive energy program because our farmers want to feed and fuel the world.
Julius Schaaf, farmer from Fremont County and chairman of the Iowa Corn Promotion Board.
Corn-based ethanol is a model for biofuels of the future. We can't turn back from the current investments. Who's going to step forward and invest if we pull the rug out from underneath as far as we've gotten? So long-term, we're right on track. I want to quote Senator Chuck Grassley, who said, "Ethanol criticisms are not based on sound science, economics, or even common sense."
By the way, on our website, whofarm.com, we have the entirety of Senator Grassley's passionate remarks in front of the U.S. Senate, which were amazing and, as far as I can tell, accurate, Jan, of what he had to say about the challenges of producing ethanol and those who would oppose it, and he was primarily citing the petroleum industry and the Grocery Manufacturers Association.
Well, there's another voice here that we haven't even talked about, and that is the voice of the other side of the aisle in the Congress. Maxine Waters, just a couple of days ago, talking with the Hofmeister, the CEO of Shell Oil Company, suggested if you don't get the oil prices down real soon, She and the Congress are going to nationalize the oil industry. What do you think? That's a pretty good idea, right? And just really
At this point,
go
I
after
do
the
not.
corn growers. Yeah,
I think that starts a snowball down a long hill. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you, Ken Root, and gentlemen. Thank you indeed. This is a rare opportunity to get this level of expertise from so many diverse points of view. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow, friends.